You look beautiful, darling. You look marvelous.
Suck it in.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello. How was Father's Day, Greg?
It was great. It was great. My kids really took good care of me. I'm sorry, my voice again from yelling and having a great time with the kids. They took me out to eat. I woke up and both of the kids were on the bed and they gave me breakfast. And, yeah, it was really, it's for a 13 and a 15-year-old to cook breakfast. Now her eggs, they're great eggs because they're from my daughter. Those are the best eggs I've ever had in my life, honey, okay?
That's nice.
I just call those special eggs.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
the
when
special people.
they can fuss. Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
Marbles in them.
Yeah, you don't know, guys. You don't know.
And you're a fussy eater.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
yeah.
very fussy.
Yeah,
Last time we were
big-
out and you got bad eggs, remember that one time?
And you know what it is?
Forget about
it's
it.
not even. It's it's not even that I mean to. It's not like all I ask for is a simple thing. If you can't do it, say you can't do it. Eggs over easy. Okay, and listen to me. I understand people don't want to flip because they'll break the yolk. But okay, I'll take sunny side. So what happens is once you cook the egg, you put the egg down. You just kind of play with the white part, kind of spread out till at the. I forgot where we were at.
I know where we were.
I said to the guy, over easy. The thing now, over easy means you want to break the yolk. Well, that didn't happen. The yolk was hard, and I never like to send things back. You know what I mean?
Well,
I never
Patrick
like to
says
send
that
things
too.
back.
Don't ever send it back.
And I was just annoyed, and then I said, let me have scrambled, but make it really soft, like just scrambled, soft. Not like runny, soft. And that eggs, the eggs came back. Yeah, it was just
that
really.
was just a bad morning.
Yeah, it was.
That's all.
It was.
But
It
anyway,
really was. But,
Good to see you.
yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
good
you
to
had
see
a nice
too.
one. We were traveling, gallivanting. That's our new thing. We gallivant a lot. Because really, I don't have my husband's gone. My father's gone. So we just took a nice ride because we ride
Good.
all over. We're calling us gallivanters now. And we had a nice weekend. And we went to a new restaurant on Saturday night and we danced.
Did you?
Yes, it was a great
very
place.
Right.
Yeah. So we really enjoyed. So it was a good
That's
weekend. We have great guests today. We have my dear friend, Wendy Kaufman,
Welcome.
the
Thank you for
Snapple
having
lady
me.
from beyond. And we have a lot of stories. And then we have our support here. Therese, she finally came down.
I know.
I talked
know.
her into being on the show today. There's a reason. You'll hear about it.
Okay.
Greg never knows who's coming on.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
I
till he walks
never
in.
asked.
It's better that way.
Surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's what happens.
For some
And
people.
then we have this powerhouse, John Messina.
Whoa.
You like that one? I'm coming back to this show.
He is the fight story, and we're going to talk about what it's all about. I did a lot of research, and my God, this is your third. Story.
Yeah, we have three.
I have a
three
list
films.
for you.
What's that?
I have a list.
You have a
for
list?
You.
Yeah, 3
The
movies.
fight stuff.
Yeah. So these are just, it's going to be a great show. But before we go further, I just want you to know that Therese knew him when she was little. How long haven't you seen him in?
30 years.
I think it was
Oh my
like this
God,
big.
you
Yeah,
serious?
he
About that
literally
big.
was 10 years old.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that unbelievable?
Oh my.
Yeah.
I put people together. I don't know how. She saw his picture and she said, What is this? I said, well, you have to come now.
That's it. He had no choice now.
She had to come.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah, because she works behind the scenes. She doesn't like to be out. But she's a great marketer. And that's why our show looks so good. And then we have Justin, who makes us look good. We have Jenny
Justin,
and
forget it.
Susan.
Yeah.
We call them back of the shop. And they just do everything for us. So it's going to be a great day. And I think you know what today is. So
Oh, it's wait. Today's the 20th or the 19th?
19th.
It is the 19th. Isn't it that Juneteenth?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, and I was trying to really understand. This is basically history
Yes.
that we're trying to.
Rejuvenate.
Yeah, it's and I still don't know the whole entire story to it, which I would one day like to find out the whole thing, not just because you're just trying to bring back and
Yeah.
celebrate the times of the way things have changed today. So one of these days I got to
It's
get
a tough conversation.
I got to and I don't like to ever bring up things from So, but one of these days I'd like to find out.
Yeah, but it's also
Oh wait, what else is
it's
there?
also National Margarita.
You pick. Wait, you pick some
National
serious.
National Margarita Day. And on that note, you want to open that
see, look.
champagne?
Well, it's not a margarita.
And it's not margarita. It's martini.
It's okay.
It's martini.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so that's why I'm like, all right,
All
you
right,
pick
I
this one.
made a mistake.
And then
should
National
have
Guard.
hands on the table.
Wait. This is why I'm saying this. World Sauntering Day. What is that?
World Sauntering
Sorry,
Day. It
what is
means
that?
like you're sauntering, right? You're
No, you
walking
just
away.
made that.
No, there really is a word, saunter.
Is it really?
But why would they have
You know
a
what?
sauntering day?
And then National Garfield Cat Day.
If you like cats,
Okay.
if you like Garfield.
I mean, a slaw day, I understand.
I thought it was a slaughter day. I thought it was a slaughter day. I was like, what do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
And then
slaughtering
World.
day.
Well, wait. See, look at this is why. World Sickle Cell Day.
Well, that I will
International
Crossed it out.
for the elimination of what?
Yeah, thanks.
Violence in conflict. All right.
I'll have a water toast.
Okay. Anyway, let's
All
just
right,
go
so
with let's go with a
anyway,
martini
today's
day.
a great day here, and we really want to congratulate this gentleman,
Me
John
too.
Messina. This is for you because I know how a struggle it is.
Cheers.
And when I
cheers,
did your
cheers.
research,
Salute.
Cheers
I
to
cannot
everyone.
believe
Thank you.
Thank you.
the struggle
Cheers.
that you have proved. And you're a teacher,
Yes.
and you have a daycare. I mean, what else?
And he's a nice guy. Like
A good-looking guy. Look at
And he's
that. Yeah, look at it. Look at it. Look at this. I
Definitely
would
coming
die
back
for
to the
that
show.
right there. I'd die for that.
Wait,
handsome.
more importantly, he comes from an amazing family.
Aw, thank you so
You
much.
knew
can
his
attest
sister,
to that
right? You were
because
best friends with
I
his
was
sister,
friends
right?
I am still friends with his sister.
Wow.
And I knew his parents.
She knew my whole family.
The whole family. I was part of their family for you. I was
So
like
what
the only
happened?
child.
Like after 10 years,
Time,
you haven't
you know.
seen each other in 10. You know, since
All
you were
right,
married.
all right, here we go.
having kids to raise.
I'm sitting there. It's getting warm in here. Wait a second.
What?
Just nothing. Just don't pay any mind to me. I'm
He
tired.
gets hot.
I'm just here.
It's because I'm
tired.
sitting next
yes,
to him.
she is.
Yeah, you
always.
know.
I think it's these lights or something.
Oh, he loves me.
All right. Okay.
So I was very close friends with his oldest sister, and like I lived at your house, slept
I
at your
remember.
house.
A long time ago,
Yeah,
but
and you were
over 30
You
years.
see that?
yeah,
But
and
did
And he
somebody have
remembers
to
it like it
move
was
away?
yesterday.
yes,
Like
what?
who moved away?
Was she nice?
It was just yes, it was nice.
Was she
The
nice?
room got quiet.
Okay. I know, right? Yeah, right.
I was, you know what? We
She was
just
great. She was
kind
great.
of,
Grew.
I met my
Drifted.
husband. We
Jen,
just kind of like
life
grew.
happened.
Life
Right.
happened. We just like went in different directions. But most importantly, we rekindled after a couple of years, and that was a fun story because I was in the UPS store getting my daughter's passport picture taken. And your other sister,
Mm-hmm.
Lori, was taking the picture, and she said, "You know, I know you." And I said, "You do?" And she explained who she was, and there was many tears and hugging and crying. And
wow.
she put me in touch with Donna,
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a reunion because I
we
remember
had a
you told me.
reunion,
Yes.
and we had lunch for like 5 hours. If she's watching, I know she remembers this. We had the
Yeah.
longest lunch ever, and it was the best. Like it was like time. Nothing happened. We
Right.
just
Well,
went
that
right
happens.
back to where we were,
That
and
happens.
that's the
That's
sign
great.
of a true
That's right.
friendship.
No,
Right.
definitely.
That's what they say, right?
That's exactly
That's
what they
right.
say. But you were like playing with your little cars or
Really?
bowls
What?
or whatever. it
Most
was.
likely.
Matchbox cars, I'll bet you.
Matchbox cars.
Matchbox
or,
cars.
yeah, you were like, I don't know, running around the backyard. And your
Was he
sister and I-
bad? Was he a bad kid?
No, he was adorable. He was a sweet kid, and your sister and I were like putting on makeup, doing our hair, the big hair days, and we're like, we're going out, and he's like, oh, I have fun.
Aw. Little big John was there.
Long time ago.
Yes.
There's nothing like re-meeting
I know.
old people
It's
because it's your
unbelievable.
history.
Right.
Unbelievable.
And it
Yeah.
brings back memories.
Definitely.
Yes.
I do that a lot.
And you know what? It's so interesting because the world is just so different today.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like a community. We all watched the same stuff on TV.
Sure.
It was a different time. Everything's sort of all over the place these days,
Yeah.
but we were all ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it, you know, so the old days, it's different.
It is.
Well, everybody knows that Wendy was the Snapple lady, and we met by chance because I was losing my job, and everyone used to tell me how much I looked like her. That was 30, how many years ago?
It's
30, almost
Yeah.
27 years ago.
1991.
So when I
It's a long
lost the big corporate job, everyone said, go see Wendy. You could be Wendy. I'm like, all right, fine. So I wrote her a letter. And the next thing I know, she picks me up and my family. It's on the Facebook with the limousine. And we go and meet her. Okay? And from that day forward, we became fast friends.
Yes, we did.
And I used to write to her. And she used to write to me because she worked in the office at Snapple and then became this big kahuna at Snapple. And how did that happen? Because you were so nice.
It was such a monstrous time. I mean, it's interesting because hindsight is 20/20, as you all know.
Yes.
And now I look back on my life, and there was so much of it that was sort of a secret because back in the 70s and 80s, we were sort of a crazy group of people, and I got myself in a lot of trouble with drugs back in the day. And in 1989, I checked in to a 30-day program, what I thought, I had a rough time. I was sick. I got engaged to somebody I did not care about, in order to help to save my life. And maybe if I got married and had children, and there were 1,000 reasons I didn't like myself. I was uncomfortable in my body. I had all sorts of stuff and went to this 30-day program, which I ended up at for 45 days. And at the end of it, they just said, if you don't get well, you're going to die. And I knew that they were right because I was clean enough to truly understand that, this was not anything that could be healed in 45 days. So I did go to a therapeutic community, got thrown out of my family business to start my life all over again at 31. And I was lucky enough to know one of the founders of Snapple who knew what my story was. So once you really understand what an enormous gamble they took, knowing that I was right out of rehab and they wanted me to come to their business, and they really let me start in the order department.
In the mailroom, right.
In the order department. No,
Right.
actually
Oh,
it was
the order.
orders because they wanted me to learn what Snapple was, all of the flavors, who the distributors were, and it's sort of the mailroom at William Morris Company back in the day to learn everything. And then I noticed that the letters were starting to come, and we were so small back in that day. Nobody wanted to do more work than they had to do because we were just inundated. And I asked my boss, Arnie, who was in charge of advertising, can I do this? Can I take this? And I didn't even know how to do a computer because we sort of missed that. And he sent me to school, and I knew for my sobriety that the best thing that I could do is just be out of my own head and do nice, wonderful things for other people. And there it all began.
That's amazing.
How did Snapple, if you don't mind me asking, how did Snapple start?
Snapple started many, many years ago with boyhood friends. Two of them were brother-in-laws, and they were in the window washing business. I must tell you, Arnie Greenberg, the other one, his family business was a company called Greenberg's, which was on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, which in those days was not such a great area, but they were on the cusp of all the healthy drinks, and they were making all these healthy drinks at Greenberg's. So all the, hippies would come in the, back in the day and get their, apricot royale, but they had a drink then called Vitamin Supreme, which was probably the first nutraceutical drink that had vitamins in it that you could get your supplements or whatever. So people were loving it. So he was the one. And then they started a business called Unadulterated. And they went into like natural and healthy mayonnaises and natural organic chickens in the restaurant. So it was like, and then they went into teas. And then that became Snapple later. But, it's a crazy story of how it all evolved. But out of, healthy stuff back in the day, they just hit it right at the right time and took a risk.
This
I came much
popularity of
later
people.
because they started, Greenberg's was already there, and they really started in the 70s, these guys. And they were, interestingly enough, up until then, most brands that got really popular really started from the West Coast and came to the East Coast. We were the first brand that started in the East Coast and went on fire in the West.
Vitamin Water came from the West Coast. I think
Well, everything's
Yeah, yeah.
always come. But you know what? We were the first with our natural juices. And then, of course, we went to iced teas.
Right,
and
right.
we also had the most unbelievable natural soda line. So we were the first that had a clear cola. We had our root beer that was clear, like everything. So we were really front runners in the game.
But then when you started to write all these letters to people, you really got in the car and went and met people because you came to me.
Well, that's where my bosses at some point, let me go. Like, I realized that the letters was just critical because these people were the type A personality of an entire brand that I realized was coming to me. And when I had been a kid, not that I lost 1 second of sleep over it, but Barry Williams, who was Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch, I was dying to win the one Tiger Beat contest that I would have a date with Barry Williams. And I wrote him one letter,
Please tell me
which
you won.
obviously, no, I did not win.
I was like, wait a second, come on.
It's a great thing, and that's why everything works out exactly how it's supposed to in your life, because it brought back, you know what? He never wrote me back, so I'm going to write everyone back. And that literally was how it all started
That
for
became
me,
your
to
thing.
do a kindness
Right,
for other people.
That's
And then I
awesome.
went to my boss because the letters, now it started to be community, because as we were getting more and more popular, people were coming to us to get involved in community stuff and
Right.
sponsorships, donations, and nobody was there to do that at the office. So I started to take all of the mail, and hence
That's great.
that
That's
really,
exactly.
I created my own monster. And then we had a brand new ad agency that came in,
Yes,
because
I
the
remember
goal
that.
for any marketer is to expand your brand and maybe sell it or whatever, make money. We're a capitalist. So what happened is the ad agency came in for a national campaign, and we got a new head of marketing, because I was just working for Arnie at that point. He was the one was of the founders, one sales, one contracts, and one was advertising.
So small, right?
And it was small, but it was under Arnie, and the agency they found out about the letters, and they wanted to meet the woman behind the letters from the new marketing head that we picked up along the way, new agency, and they heard about me. They met me and said, "Oh my God, we are putting her on TV." Now, I just want to say one other thing, because it's just so crazy. When I called my parents to tell them that I was going to be the star of the Snapple campaign. Now, I've lost a lot of weight. I was a big girl, a big Jewish girl from Long Island, okay? A big Jewish ex-drug addict from Long Island.
I still don't know where the Jewish part came in,
But
but,
I just have
just the
to
big
say-
girl
no,
was.
because I wanted to
Really?
say national. They're growing a national brand, so usually, you're not thinking. But so I just want to say, I called my parents to say I'm going to be the star of, and I'm
Right.
laughing about it, of Snapple advertising, and I hear my mother scream, "Ronnie, she's back on drugs!" She's like, "What are you talking about? Do I have to send, men in white coats? What are you talking about?" And I said, no, they're really, putting me on. And, and I didn't know what it was going to be. And it turned out that the ad agency had decided that Roseanne was in her peak and Oprah was in her peak in those beginning days. And they just said, "I'm sorry, but the world is ready for
Wendy."
Wendy."
Well, that's true. Now, do you know, this is very old. I had it
That
wrapped.
is very old.
It's called Orange Tropic. We had this, I think, at the parade when we were on the float.
And that was after I got fired.
And it was
the
in
first
advertising
time.
age. The picture with you with the banana hat. So I wanted you to see. I still have it. Never opened it.
I love it. It is a true collector's
Yep.
item.
Wow.
They gave me my own flavor, and we were able to make
Yes.
money for charity with
Look
that.
at her picture
So
on there and
it
everything.
was my orange
And this
Tropic.
was the pin
amazing.
that
Oh my
I
God.
wore at the Snapple conference at Hofstra University. I went to a conference with her, and I had to get up and do
It was a
Snapple
convention.
commercial.
We literally had the first annual Snapple
Yes.
convention.
And
what school was it at?
I
don't
was
even
at
remember.
Hofstra.
It was at she remembers
I don't forget nothing.
That's for sure.
We had a ball.
When I go back to writing my book, I know
Yes,
all the
I have a folder.
details.
I have a folder with all your stuff, every article, everything. So we became very close. And we see each other once every 2 years, 1 year and a half. But she keeps me posted. And now, you know, I was like, you got to come back. You are doing what? Traveling the world.
Well, I just to her point, I really have made unbelievable lifelong friends from that job because I really did care about the part. I wasn't playing the part. I was the part. It was a big
You were
part of
real.
my heart. And just so you know, because this is so crazy, you know, I it's a long story, but I ended up renting a place, you know, all my bands, they're all retiring, and I don't love being in New York right now with what goes on in the city and parking $60 in a lot. So I decided to rent in Las Vegas. So I'm seeing everybody in really comfortable seats, and I don't have to pay for
Yeah, well, you know
parking.
everybody. All the,
But I
See,
just
that was
want
the
you to
main reason
know.
why he moved out of New York. But you didn't want to pay for parking.
You know, but
I know what you
safety,
mean.
you
I know
know,
what you mean. I'm teasing you.
it's just an easier
know,
experience
I'm
to
teasing
schlep to the Strip than to schlep into
Right.
Manhattan sometimes. But here's what I want to tell you. One of the guys that did one of my commercials, Peter Papagiorgio, who did the actor commercial, he got in touch with me as soon as I got to Las Vegas. He's there, and I had lunch with him. So I love seeing my people, and I
Yeah.
love seeing what happened to everybody and how being in a Snapple commercial changed their
It
life.
did, yeah.
And how even it affected
Me.
somebody like Tina.
well, because when I was depressed, she was sending me Snapples. She was sending me gifts, Christmas lights for my tree, all this
Really?
stuff.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
sweet.
Yeah.
I had a, you know, by this time I had a budget, and I just wanted to take care of the people that really were there from the start. I knew exactly who was there, and really I tempered for them in their marketing. They were very smart and very calculated because their two major spokespeople was Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh, and because it was politics in a way, you know, and a lot of people didn't like both of them. You know, Arnie would get on the phone and say, then turn them both off and watch Wendy. And it was very smart of them in hindsight. I don't even think that they realized
Yes.
that it was just great to throw a female into the mix that
Yeah,
was imperfect,
absolutely, yeah.
but it really worked for us.
Yeah, no, it
That's
was
great.
great, and you did all those things for all the people, and at the time the charities.
But
I
you don't
mean-
know what you all did for me, because you all kept me sober and kept me good and kept
great.
me out of my head, and you kept me doing nice things for people. So I really benefited more than anyone, because
That's great.
And then
gave
you
me
met
my
Mr.
life back.
Harkins.
That's incredible.
Mr. Harkins, who's my best friend's last name, Jerry. You know Jerry. That's her last name. She married a Harkins, but they're
Oh,
not
really?
related.
Oh, okay.
So he's great, and he takes you traveling a lot now, right?
You know, well, that became the next chapter of my life. My father got sick, my mother got sick, and I became really a caretaker, going back and forth to Florida. You know, but I still did nice things for people. What people don't realize this, but I'm still the snap lady to all these people.
Yeah, it's-
So if people needed something, you know, like I don't talk about this a lot, but if I was able to help, I have helped many, many people in my life, and it's sort of my mission. That's why, even though I don't love doing this, when she says, you know, please come, I'll say, I'm only doing it because of you.
That's why
I'm
she's
only
here.
doing it. But you know what? It's the most wonderful feeling to do nice things for
Yeah.
others. That really keeps me. I have been so blessed on so many levels. And now, you know, I took care of my parents, and now it's my turn, you know, so.
No, that's
I-
true. And you went to India just 3 weeks ago. She's on top of
Last week.
all these animals, and she's
Wow.
riding, zip lining, and
Yeah.
she's all over the place.
You know,
She's unreal.
you know, it's funny because for years I missed a lot with drugs and you know, not living life. And then, of course, with my parents for 12 years, I was back and forth to Florida. And while you could do a 5-day cruise here and there, I really couldn't afford to lose the time to be back in Florida. You do what you need to do. And now, all of a sudden, I scratched my head and I just said, you know what? The whole game has changed right now. So in 2019, right before COVID, I really was handicapped in a way. I had two really bad knees. So that's where it all started. I fixed both of my knees. I
At
went
once.
to Hospital of Special Surgery and said, I want a doctor who's going to do both of them. I'm not wasting time, and I'm not some freak. I'm going to do this, and I'm telling you. And he did it, which was great.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started to walk. I started to get in shape. I started to lose weight. I started to take care of some things that needed to be taken care of physically, and I'm in the best shape that I've been
You are, and you look
my
beautiful.
whole life. And you know what? Now that I have this time, because where I had a rental in the Berkshires, that's my
beautiful
home,
in Berkshires, too.
and I got to rent it to a company that just sort of came out of the blue, and it was like another gift from heaven. Here, we'll take your property for 2 years with a 2-year option, which once that happened, it all bets were off. And that's when I went to Vegas and said, you know what, let me see from a different perspective, because life is all about perspective.
Right.
I'm East Coast, let me go to the West, never to California. Never to California.
Well, Greg is into bands big time, so you probably know a lot of the bands.
I just
So
saw
what
Smokey
that was it?
Robinson. Okay, before he seemed to have gotten sick and canceled his shows, because people go there and they don't come to New York.
Right.
And that was like not only a pleasure but a privilege to see Mr. Robinson
Yeah.
do his thing. And that's the gift, because I love music. That's my passion, and that I get to do what I wanted to do right now. And that's
That's
it.
good.
That's for you.
Well, I got to give a
Yeah,
quick
so we
shout
have
out
to
to.
go. No, you did
No.
This is what we do on the show.
No,
You don't
it's
have to
fine. It's
apologize.
fine.
I'm done.
No, you're not done. We'll have a few more
No, you're
minutes.
just getting started. Look
Yeah,
at you. You kidding me?
This is for you.
Jenny, got to give a quick shout out to Jenny A, Jenny C, Susan, Stacy. We got Rosemary.
I know
How
you
are
don't
you,
get
love?
big
I miss you.
things like me. You
Send my
little
love to
things.
John, as usual. I hope he's doing better. Melissa giving you a big shout out to everybody. Eliza, Susan Klein. Oh, it's Susan Klein. Don't tell me about Susan Klein. Kat, how are you? And Patricia Marie. She's watching again.
Patricia,
I
thank you.
haven't seen you in a while, hon. I'd like to see how you're doing. Hope all is well. And then we'll get back to the rest.
Okay.
Now, Mr. John,
Mr.
Yes,
John
sir.
Messina.
you got to talk to me. You got to tell me, what is your
He
story?
doesn't know anything.
Oh boy. Okay. So
See, no, when I say that, people really think I'm joking. She does all her homework on me, but I don't know who comes on. I don't know. I say hello to you, and I just sit down and I start with the computer stuff.
I like that. That's
All
a
right,
cool
so
approach.
now talk to me.
All right. Well, number one, amazing story, Wendy. That was awesome. Thank
And
you so
I'm
much for
looking
sharing.
forward to hearing your
Thank you.
amazing
Thank you.
story.
So, for myself personally, I struggled very bad in school as a young boy, and even through high school. Couldn't read, couldn't write, had a very severe learning disability. But there was one thing that both of my parents kind of introduced to me from a young age, and that was the Rocky films. We're all familiar with
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone in the Rocky films, running up the steps, throwing his hands in the air, the whole 9 yards. But for me, that movie literally changed my life. Okay, I kind of I equated to a spiritual awakening for myself. When I saw it the first time as a young boy, I felt like all of my struggles, and then a light switch went on, and I saw this guy in a movie who was absolutely the biggest underdog I've ever seen on the big screen, and it just lit a fire in my soul. And from that moment forward, I kind of approach things with what I call the Rocky mentality. Every time you get knocked down, you got to get back up, no matter what's in front of you. And that's how I live my life. Fast forward some years, I was raised by the two of the most amazing parents. I had an incredible relationship with my mother and father, and my dad wound up getting sick. My dad is my mentor, my hero, my best friend in life, and he wound up getting cancer about 9 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I wound up seeing my dad go through some really tough times. You know, cancer is an awful disease, and it wound up taking his life, unfortunately. But the interesting thing, getting back to all the Rocky stuff, was 48 hours before my dad's passing, he pulls me into his room and he asked to have kind of the final heart-to-heart conversation. The conversation nobody wants to have with their loved one. So here I am with my hero, and he pulls me in real close, and he's go, "You got to do me a favor, one last favor." Sure, what is it, Dad? Anything. And he said, "You got to run the Rocky steps for me." And it was something we always wanted to do as a father-son, but we never had the opportunity. So obviously I promised him, and 48 hours after that talk, he passed away. I was devastated, to say the least, losing my hero. Fast forward a little bit forward, about 6 months after that point, losing my dad, my mom gets diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer, literally out of the blue. And she wound up passing away about a year after my dad. So it was kind of a double whammy, a right and a left hook. Not easy for me and my family. And I wound up going through, a tough time and depression and whatever else, sets in when you lose loved ones. We've all been there. But for me personally, my parents made such a big impact on me. I was devastated. And I felt kind of like I was losing my way and I was lost. And I have 2 children of my own, and I'm trying to raise them and a beautiful wife. And I'm trying to be the best husband I could be. And I just felt like things were spiraling, out of control. And I think I woke up one morning, probably about 6 months after losing my mom. And I said, "Holy crap, I never made it down to Philadelphia to fulfill that promise to my dad." And I think today's probably the day I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive down to Philly, and I'm going to do that. So that's what I did. I made it my mission. I didn't care. I cleared my menu for that day. I made it my mission to get down there. And I wound up driving to Philly. I got there at about 11 o'clock at night. It's the middle of February. It's like 20 degrees outside, freezing. And I don't know if anybody's ever been to the famous Rocky Steps. Yeah. But for me, it was a magical experience because I felt like I was literally in the movie set where I watched this incredible story unfold from when I was a little boy, and then everything I went through leading up to that moment. And now I'm going to make this emotional climb by myself. So I wound up going up the steps, all 72, in Philadelphia, middle of February.
Those are the steps, I'm telling you. And I did almost passed out.
It's not as easy as
people just keep running it. It's not that easy. All right, take it from me either. And I was younger. Go ahead.
So I make it to the top of the steps, and I kind of just sit there. I'm looking out at the beautiful city of Philadelphia. And just kind of recapping everything that I went through and went on. And obviously I'm getting emotional. And at that very moment, again, the switch went on. The same switch that went on the first time I saw the film Rocky from when I was 8, 9 years old, the same switch went on, and all of a sudden I felt like depression, anxiety, everything that I went through, it just left. And I felt a calmness that I hadn't felt in a really long time.
Yeah.
And with that moment, I'm hit with the idea to write Fight Story, which is a 3-part series documentary that highlights people kind of like myself that went through some really difficult times, but made it triumphantly through because of their love and inspiration through these films, the Rocky movies. So I literally came up with the idea sitting at the top of the steps that night in Philadelphia. And that's probably one of the most important moments in my life, other than my kids being born and things like that.
So how did all these people that I see all these pictures? These people, how did they reach out to you, or how did it happen?
So it's another interesting story. I sat there for about 5 minutes that night, and I went, "Oh my God, I got to get started on this immediately." I'm not kidding. I drove home that night, got home 3 a.m,
Crazy
and
man.
I started to get to work.
Did you really?
I literally started to go to work on it. I put out one Facebook ad, kind of like a casting call.
Yeah.
I paid like $9.99 for it. The ad was supposed to start on a Friday night and run through Sunday. And I went to bed that Friday night, and I woke up Saturday morning, and I had over 500 emails in my inbox. I went to bed again, I had another 500. By the time it was all said and done, the ad, I think I had like over 2,000 emails of people that were interested in being a part of the documentary. And, oh my God, I think I'm onto something. Obviously, there's a level of interest that people have. I feel like, the Rocky franchise has touched so many people worldwide. and people wanted to be a part of it. Everyone has a story. That's kind of the fight story motto is fight story. We all have one. Everyone has a fight story. So from that moment on, it took me about 6 months to weed through 2,000 emails. I literally read every single one personally myself. And I divvied up and I came up with the final 15. And we broke it up 5 stories per episode, 3 episodes, 5 stories per episode. We put out the first film about 1.5 years ago, which is currently streaming worldwide on Amazon Prime, Tubi, and about 6 other platforms. Getting to that point was not easy as a filmmaker. Finding a distributor, finding distribution was probably...
That's the hardest thing. Yeah, look
My
at you, I know.
My goodness.
My friends tell me that all the
I
time.
I didn't sleep for probably 6 months. I'm not kidding. But when I went and I was in the search of distribution, I hit up everyone from the East Coast to the West Coast, and I submitted my film, and I was getting incredible feedback from all these, reputable companies and whatnot. But they had one common denominator. Everyone kept coming up with the same critique. I would get on the phone. Hi, John, we reviewed your film. It was amazing. We were all moved to tears. It was inspiring. But, I kept getting the same but.
Right.
And here was the but. You ready for this? Your film does not include sex, drugs, or violence.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
And that's why we have to pass on it.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Really?
For somebody like me, that only drove me. People don't
I'm
know.
insane.
You can't
sitting
say
here
no.
right
Yeah.
now.
I don't understand how to quit.
yeah.
I'm insane listening to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody like me, when you approach me and you say your movie doesn't have sex, drugs, and violence, you've messed with the wrong person. You really have. Because now I'm going to go guns blazing. I'm going to go even harder. And that's exactly what I did. And I wound up finding the company that's suitable for me and for what I'm trying to do and my vision. And it's really the perfect match, or marriage, so to speak. And they were able to get me on 7 different platforms worldwide. We're streaming. And really the rest is history. We're up to part 2 now.
That's great.
We're going to have a premiere. Hopefully everyone at the table
Yes.
can come.
What's the date of that? 'Cause
July 14th in Belmore, Long Island.
See, that's the day
We
after
always
my
go.
birthday. But
Okay.
so that means you have to come
So-
to my birthday party. I always have a big
I'm in.
Yeah.
birthday.
13th, the day. Yeah, that's right. We have a
July
big
13th,
party.
you know I'm throwing it out there again.
I'm
It's
so
a big boat.
excited.
It's a fundraiser
Yeah.
for my birthday
It's
and
a big
Kiwanis, because
party.
I'm very much about Kiwanis in Freeport. So it's a boat cruise.
Every
and
year.
Awesome.
So it's
We have a blast.
you'll have a great time. But
Amazing.
the 14th,
We'll be there.
Yeah,
Right,
I
Stuart?
would love you all to be there. It's a charity fundraiser. I don't make any money off of this. It's all for children with autism and special needs. I have a full merchandise line as well.
That's great.
Yeah,
You have
and
a
all
big
the-
following.
You know the
Thank
funny
you,
thing.
thank you.
You know what the funny thing is when you think about it. I remember when the movie came out, and being younger, everything was like the big, thick rope gold chain. Remember? All right, all Guidos were all our heads freaking slick back, whatever. Coming out of the movie theater, you thought we were gonna beat up the world. Because watching that, I swear to you, even to this day, you think about it. If you really watch it, it gives you goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I met him, I don't know, 10 years ago, or 15 years ago in California by accident. I'm one of those, I never know who I'm talking to. I mean, you look familiar,
Right.
but I'm not starstruck.
Sure.
I'm just jealous of them, but not starstruck. But yeah, he was really nice. And of course, you hear that in right well. I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? I saw his face, and then somebody said, yeah, blah, 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 so on. And yet, not even thinking about it, shake his hand. Hey, how you doing? And I'm like, wow. But that was such a great movie. And then now, have you seen any of the Creeds?
I've seen every single
Have
one.
you really?
I've
This
seen
guy's
them.
Yeah.
crazy. He sees it
They're
all.
good. They're good.
Really?
They are good.
They are. They're
Because I
very
know he
good.
was talking about they want him to retire every time, but he keeps putting himself in it.
The man
So,
never stops.
never
76
stops.
years old. He
The
keeps going.
fire
How
in
old
the
is he?
belly
76.
keeps going.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's
And he has a reality show.
And I'm just laughing with what you're saying because when I was starting college, Sylvester Stallone had come out with that movie and the studios didn't want that movie. And just what you're saying is with sheer determination and fire in his belly,
Right.
he got it distributed through colleges and it became such an enormous hit with the kids circuit that they took it into the regular theaters, so he fought it backwards, and he did just like what you did, and it's just so inspiring to listen to your story, and it's just, I'm so touched, and I'm just privileged to be
I knew
here
you
with
was
you.
a great match for today.
You're a perfect match for me today.
Aw, likewise.
So now, did you ever get to meet him or talk to
I
him?
have met him. I have.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
there you go. Where
have
and
met him.
when?
So, yeah.
I met him
Is he
on
coming
the.
to the premiere?
I mean, that would be
You
like
never know. You never know who's listening.
Mr. Stallone,
You
please.
know.
Wow, you never know.
Truthfully, the whole series is it's a visual love letter and tribute to everything he's done.
It's an homage.
Wow.
It is. So, I mean, it would be amazing if you
That
could
would be
come.
a great honor.
You never know.
Well, can I tell you, Barry Williams actually did bring me 24 roses one
that
time.
right?
So I did get to meet him. So, Mr. Stallone, for my friend over here, John,
That's it.
if you could find it in your heart, to give him everything that he's worked so hard
And
for.
I'm gonna say something. If you can pray for this to happen, because
She's
I'm
getting
listening
crying.
to this, listening to your story, and there's 2 red cardinals on the table,
Yes.
and your parents are here.
Oh.
That's really sweet.
So
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
prayer is really powerful too.
I'm a believer.
So
I'm a believer also.
I've never seen these cardinals on the table.
Well, you haven't been here for a while. It's about time you were here today.
I know, but as soon as while you're telling the story, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, it's Mr. and Mrs. Messina sitting here at the table,
How nice is
listening
that?
to this.
It's
Well,
really sweet.
that is
I'm
beautiful,
sorry that I-
Teresa.
No,
that's
that's really
okay.
Made everybody
Really
emotional.
sweet.
No, that's
Hand out the
okay.
tissues. 'Cause I'm like,
Great.
These are just so inspiring, and that's really what the world needs today.
I
so
agree.
is it you interviewing people? Is it you just
So I
talking
kinda
about
narrate.
it?
I'm a narrator.
All right. Okay.
And it's in interview format, but I am not on screen.
Right.
That's kind of
Okay.
how it's filmed. But it's been an unbelievable ride, and I never, to be honest, when I started this, I never anticipated we would get this far, And I feel like it's kind of like climbing a ladder, right? Every rung is another step you take, and I feel like I just keep climbing the ladder, and I'm not stopping. I have no
The
intent
doors are
of
opening
stopping.
Well,
because you're
that's
looking
it.
through the right windows.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me, and you're in exactly where you're supposed to be right
And,
now.
and it
Exactly
really
right.
does. I mean, I've been through a lot of things, and I'm happy as a pig in shit right now. I mean, I never thought I would be.
That's right, yeah.
And this man, I met him in the dry cleaners, I told you. And we're doing this 4 years almost now.
Yeah.
And we love it.
The
And
people that you meet and the people that were on screen, how did it change their lives to be able to tell their story?
Oh,
I mean, what was the feedback that you got from them?
number one, I have some of the most unbelievable participants to be on Fight Story with me. Nobody is accepting money. Like, in other words, I'm not paying them to be on.
right.
And that to me was like such an important stipulation, because I feel like they're coming on out of the goodness of their heart. This is
Right.
coming from a different place now.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with money.
Labor of love.
Yeah.
And when you find people that have passion like that, and I feel like I have found those people, it's just it's the winning combination.
Well, it's very true, and that's why we promote volunteerism, because
Yeah, very
that's
big
how
on that.
things happen. I mean, Greg's a big part of the Kiwanis, and
Everything's
so
for the
many
kids.
things happen,
Yeah.
because of the volunteering. If I hadn't volunteered, I wouldn't be doing half of the things I'm doing now,
That's right.
Speak
and
about that. You know.
yeah, I mean, that's my passion, even though I did want to get a job, but, it just didn't work out. But
Right.
the God was telling me, you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. And it works out, There are your struggles, but I'm not a quitter. As he knows, we could go at it sometimes. We both agree to disagree if we have to.
Right. Right.
But those days of listening to BS and people and,
Yeah.
when you volunteer, you're there around people that want to be there, not that have to be there.
Right.
And that's the whole picture.
It's like you're not playing the part. Like I said, you are the
He
part.
is the part,
And that
yeah.
means everything, because not disingenuous in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's a labor of love, people can feel the chemistry, they feel the love.
Sure.
And you know what? They would do anything. Like I'm sitting here, I could give you the drug story. You know what? For my fight story, if
Sure.
that's what they're asking for, I'll give. But I want you to make number 10. I want you to have
Yeah.
12. Because
Thank you.
the
Thank
world needs this, the hope. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a world of hopelessness, it's so awful. And that's what I miss about that time. It was such a wonderful time
We
of
need
great
more of
love and
that.
laughter.
Absolutely.
And you know what? When you see it's not so easy, but there's always hope. And there
there's
is
a way.
the other side of it.
Right.
You know, there's nothing more valuable and benefiting to society at large than that.
See that
agree
right
more.
there? Just thinking of what you're saying. She always tells me to write a book. I should, right? But I always say, who's going to listen to it?
Oh,
All right, listen.
changes your
People have
life.
been shot. People have been locked up. People have done drugs. People, whatever. So, what is my story going to do for somebody else? Sure. I think it may be okay if I tell you the story, like, oh my God, really? Your dad did this to you, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, there's so much abuse. There's so much everything. So I sit there and I say to myself, all right, I'm going to start. And I'm like, nah. But then you know what? You just never know even if it does get to inspire one or two people. That's why I'm always trying to help everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a people pleaser.
It does.
And I focus more on pleasing other people than myself, so I never have to look at myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
people
you
say,
do.
oh, how do you make yourself? Like we've had many guests on, doctors, whatever. No, you need to please yourself in order for you to please others. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
When I please other people, I don't look at myself, so I never have time to look at myself. And it makes it easier for me. It really does. And people don't seem to understand that. They're like, no. And I'm like, yes.
The most
Everybody has,
elsewhere.
you're right. Everybody has their own way of dealing with things.
Right.
If I sit there and I don't do anything, I mean, all right, I had surgery. I've been bedridden
He's
for
been
quite
sick.
some time. And that was like, was like the worst time of my life. Sitting in the bed. You can I'm watching TV, but I don't even know what I'm watching. Movies I'm watching, but I'm not focusing on it. So then I sit there and I'm like, I got to get up, and of course then I forced myself, I slid down the stairs, messed up my back even more. Yeah.
no.
You know what I mean? It's like patience. I should have patience, but it's really, really hard to have patience. I'm not a patient type of a guy. I mean, I could sit there and listen to everybody and give me advice. I'll never listen to my advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you my advice will help you. And I've seen it. It's helped many people. And you know what I want in return from anything? Just thanks. Just
Yeah, well,
just
you don't-
say
you
those
don't
words.
like the attention.
It is probably it's easier to get money than it is for somebody to say thank you.
Yeah, that's true.
I swear to you, I could get anything, but to say thank you, I swear to you, I don't know. I look at people like, I mean, a simple thing. All right, if you pull up at a stop sign and you let somebody go,
I was just gonna
wait,
bring that up.
but wait a
Yes.
second, you go like this, right?
Yes, I was
Now,
just going to say
now
that.
it bothers you, right?
Yeah,
If
you
they don't say
wave
thank you.
back.
Now, but wait a second.
Yeah.
Now, wait a second. Now, I have to say something about that. You have to stop.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
wait.
You're right.
So technically, they don't have to say thank you because
Oh, right.
no. Just think for a second.
Yeah.
Now, if you stop in the middle of the street in your car and you let somebody go,
Yeah, that's
now or anything, a red light, you stop and then you're going like this to let somebody go. No, they have the right of way.
Right.
It took me time to realize that because I was attacked. If I let somebody go, I'm like, you're welcome, screaming it out. I swear to you.
I know.
And some lady turned around, this years ago, some lady turned around, she goes, you're supposed to stop. What do I gotta thank you for? And I was like, oh, I said, I'm sorry. I swear to you. And I realized that, but I understand what you're saying.
But it's the people who don't.
Right.
You pull over
Right.
and you clearly pull
Right,
over for
right.
them, and they just
Well, no.
drive
Well, that's what
by.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or better yet, you hold the door.
Yeah.
Listen,
that's
my
big.
son
That's
takes
the
after me. My kids. I'm one of these. I'll hold the door. My son would race, like if we're in a supermarket, he would race to the door and hold the door, right? So I walk in. Oh no, better yet, we were going to the movies. I mean, he does it all the time. And we're going to the movies. Oh no, sorry, we're going to the Islander game. Yeah, this is at the Coliseum. So I hold the door. He grabs the door behind me, so I get in, and then all of a sudden, as I'm walking in, I'm walking, so I get online, and so I know my son's right here, and so I feel somebody right there, whatever it is, and I'm looking, so I'm like, all right, so, and I pretty much know security guys, but we're online, so I mean, it's a big game, and all of a sudden, I don't see my son, and I'm looking at my son, so I said, hey, hold the spot. So I'm looking, he's still holding the door.
That's so great.
You know what? And that's him.
Yeah.
But I was the same way.
Good. He's
I was
a
the
good
same
kid.
way, the same, you know, it's just, and meanwhile, people are walking by, and it kind of bothered me. Like, what does it take for you to say, thanks? Nothing. But you know what? It's like people have a hard time saying, I'm sorry.
Of course.
That's true. There's a lot
I
of that.
never
I
apologize.
think
Listen to me. I catch myself. I'm sorry. Now,
Oh no, sorry.
my parents never said I'm sorry and I love you. Those weren't words that came out of their old school. They're just, and they're not affectionate. I'm super affectionate.
Yes, he's a hugger.
I'm talking to him and I'm like this,
With his
but that's
back
just me.
surgery. Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times I swear you have to just keep my hands. You know, like so. Parents never said I'm sorry. I never realized how many times. If my kids do something, my kids, and I got to tell you something, I'm pretty fortunate, knock on wood. If I have to punish my kids, which I really don't, I'll get the most I'll get upset about is the room being messy. All right, you know what? You spend all that time doing your TikTok. Give me the phone, Dad. What are you doing? Clean your room, and I'll give you the phone back. I'm not yelling. I'm not whatever. Okay. And then they're like, but Dad, listen to me. I'll do it right after. You know, we're talking months later. I'll do it right after. I grab the phone. I go into my room, put the phone down. I'm doing whatever, changing. And I stop, and I'm like, I grab the phone. I go back to their room, and I'm like, here, but just. I give them back the phone, and I tell them I'm sorry I took the phone. Who does that? Who does
That's
that?
true.
It's so interesting because with I'm sorry, with thank you, the word that I always had the hardest time with was help. And it's the most cathartic word, really, because if you ask somebody for help,
You're right.
everybody wants to help.
Yeah, but it's
And
hard
that's
to
really-
ask for help.
Yeah, but it's hard.
to ask.
You're showing a
But you
sign
know
of
what, like,
weakness,
I'm a
but it's really
thank-
not.
I'm a
It's really
thank
not,
you
you know,
person.
but
I have no problem with a thank you, you know, and I have no problem with an I love you. And I
Right.
think as we get older, the I love yous become much more
It's
important.
easier now when
because
you
don't
go
want to
through
leave
something.
and
Right.
not tell the people that you loved how meaningful that they have been in your life.
Sure.
Right.
But even with your film, you know, you ask for help in a way, and all of a sudden you are just bombarded
Yeah.
with 2,000 stories, and that was just in a weekend. And I just want to say to you, especially in this world, you know, how wonderful it is that everybody wants to do it pro bono as a labor of love with you. And if you did it again, you'll get 5,000 next. You know, it's just one of those things. But yes, help. And your whole career actually is based upon help.
Yeah,
Right.
Helping
absolutely.
others, and that's the gift. And that
That's
was the
right.
gift with me. So we have the same story in a different kind of
It's
way.
true.
You see, so everybody does, and I always say that. I know it sounds crazy, but a gift could be anything. Doesn't have to necessarily. I mean, the way this might come out wrong, but a professional thief has a gift to be a thief. It's not a good gift, but none of us could get up right now and try and be a professional thief. Okay? Anything that somebody does really well, I know I hate to say it and I don't like to use that word, I mean a gift, but everybody has a gift. Sitting at this
Very
table,
true.
you have a gift, a talent, whatever it may be. And a lot of times we don't recognize it and we don't know it. And my parents used to say, you know, you should fix radios and, you know, because I'm really good with electronics. So, and I was a kid, so what did I do? I was in gangs. So I used to steal a lot of radios out of cars, but I was gifted. Okay, I was gifted, all right? And I'm really sorry if you came out of your car and the radio was gone. I'm sorry, but I never stole from my friends. It's people I didn't know who they were. All right, so
Just fix them and put them back in the car.
fixed them and sold them so that the ones that were broken in the other cars got another radio.
you.
All right. So I apologize. Listen, I was really, really young. But, you know, when you really think, that was a gift. Not anybody can steal radios out of a car or steal a car really quick.
Well, it just
but-
goes back to, this whole thing, embrace your imperfections in yourself and make light of your mistakes. Every mistake I made, I learned. I made a lot of mistakes in the last 20 years. I did.
you?
But I learned something from each one. There's still one I haven't learned. And I think you know what it is.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what? It's like you just have to keep doing it. And the more I meet these great people, I'm sure you met some great people. Now I'm involved in the film festival. Did you enter the
I did not.
You got to do it.
I did not.
do it.
Cool
You have to
Jerry
enter
Ferretti
every
today.
film festival.
You have to
Definitely. You can get a discount
Yeah.
today.
Okay.
For the next few days. Call Jerry. I'll give you his number.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big part of the film festival.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and it's coming up in October. Big day for me.
Awesome.
Because I'm in a
That's it.
film
Yes,
now. Yes.
yes.
And I'm in 3 films.
You're in the presence of 2 celebrities.
I
No,
believe
no,
it.
I'm not.
I believe
No,
it.
I'm just having fun. I'm not getting paid, like you said. But I'm in. Greg was in 2 films with me, and probably going to be in the.
3 celebrities.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Fontanas. I was speaking to Jerry
Yeah.
about it the other
Really?
day.
Did
Yeah,
you?
you're going to
All
have
right.
a part.
I told Jerry finally I'll do it.
Yeah, he
You know what
wants
it
you
is?
to.
I
We
get
had
nervous.
a ball.
I get nervous
doing
about
it.
the words.
They took
Because I have
us
to
here.
try whatever it is.
Memorization.
And yeah, it's easy when I do
We
but
played.
But
I saw.
it's,
Yeah.
that's the thing I have a hard time.
It's
I
fucking
can improvise in a
unbelievable.
heartbeat.
Sure, of course.
Just let me do my thing, but some directors they want exactly, and I understand it. So I said, Jerry, I'm going to study. I promise I'll do a word for
Right.
word.
And they use
know?
cheese for
You know?
part of the film. We use
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
My husband was a comedian, and they did a whole thing,
Yeah.
but then they killed my husband. So I'm a widow now in the movie. In the
show.
film.
Well, they had to kill him, all right? They had
What's
to.
going on
No,
here?
no,
Yeah.
There was kills. Wait, there was what is it? Murder.
Wanted
There
to
was
leave?
there was sex. Right?
I got you.
There was sex in there too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And was there drugs in there?
No, well, yeah, there is.
Alcohol. Well, you can say
There's some
alcohol, whatever.
mafioso.
I think there's some
And now they're making me get dementia. I'm gonna have dementia now in the end.
Your story.
But it's
You know when
real.
they care
Right,
is when it starts really
Picking up
hitting
speed.
mainstream,
Yeah, then they're
and now they're
gonna
looking
say-
at, well, we can make a profit. That's the
Then
only
they're
time
gonna
they'll pick
care.
something up.
Yeah.
It's all about money to them. They could care less about how good the story is.
But the
Right.
great news
You know?
is, when I have other friends like us, that they are working with religious stations and,
Right.
Yes.
Hallmark
Yes.
stations and other stations
Yeah.
that, while everybody likes a good, shit show on TV, there's nothing better than seeing people win.
True.
yeah.
So,
agree.
I mean, we're
That
so glad
ignites
you
something. When
came.
you see all the terrible things happening in the world,
Because people
you want to see something that
People-
makes you feel
Yeah.
And laughing
you
is the
want to
best.
be
See, I don't even watch horror
laughing
movies
and you want to be inspired.
I mean, I love horror movies because I love the makeup. I love all that
Right,
stuff. And
yeah.
I know, but
Yeah,
you know
we
what it
do
is?
that on
you
the
know,
show,
You know
too.
what I do? If I do, but like I said, I watch movies every night. But it's just that I need the noise because I just can't sleep
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
the TV being on.
Yeah.
So, but if I do have something on, it's got to be funny. Anything funny. I don't care what it is. I just have to watch it, and it's the only way I'll sleep.
Murder
to
24/7.
Murder. Listen, but I understand. I love it. I like it.
the drone.
Oh,
of the
Daylight thing?
voice.
Oh, my, you're a
To
mad-
put me to
you're a
sleep
mad woman.
Because
Oh,
how
right.
could you listen to comedy and fall asleep?
Yeah.
Easy,
I
easy.
would be
No,
busy,
she'd rather fall asleep
listening.
while you slice the
I'm
guy's
like,
throat.
but it's
I'm
the
like you.
narration.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
horror movies.
No,
I like the comedy.
I like the
I
comedy.
need
You like the
something-
comedy.
You're gonna love the
lighthearted.
Fontanas.
I need
Yeah, it
something
doesn't- it
lighthearted.
doesn't
No, when I'm
want-
falling asleep only.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I
Oh.
could care less.
Yeah. Like I said, I could watch it, but if I have to, because you know what I know? I'm not a dreamer. I don't dream that often. At least, I mean, they say everybody dreams every night, but we can't remember them.
Right.
But when I sit there, honestly, I just watch somebody killing somebody. I mean, I lived it, watching it, doing whatever growing up and stuff. So to me, that doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. I'm like, oh, a good horror or Friday the 13th. Why haven't they killed this freaking guy by now? I swear to you. Dude's been like for 40 years alive. You watch his head get cut
tracked
off.
the whole family tree on
I swear to you,
Ancestry.
That's what it was. He did the DNA thing. Yeah.
And kill
So,
them
yeah,
all.
I'm telling you.
Why are they still alive?
You know? But the
Well,
movies,
John, this is for you. Now, if you decide you want to make a movie out of my books, you
Yeah,
let me
well-
know.
Oh,
There were
thank
everything
you.
in those books are true. You will love both of them, but the one is a true story about a little girl that became part of my life that was sick when I lost the first job. And the second book is about when I lost the second job. So every time I get screwed.
And then after I fire her from here, then she'll
Yeah.
write another book.
Exactly. But we do publish books. So whenever you're ready, Wendy is actually embarking on it. She's probably going to.
I don't have your focus.
See?
I've been trying to
See?
get her to do it for about 2 years.
I have hundreds of pages written, and I know how it's going to start. Getting it after
Right.
I was fired and they brought me back. I got a parade down Fifth Avenue,
Yeah, it was
and I'm
there.
thinking, who gets a parade on Fifth Avenue?
Right.
Yeah, it
You know,
was
to
fun.
start it and then start to tell
And
the
I
story.
met Ed
amazing.
McMahon that day.
Guys, I don't
One
mean
of
to
the
cut
greats.
everybody off here. I know time's up.
Yeah,
but
it went
I have
fast.
to give a very big shout out this weekend. Cynthia, she's a very big freestyle artist with a boyfriend, Dom G. I want to give you a big shout out. We had a great turnout. Fever Records, Sal, I love you. It was nice to see you. You look great. And I just have to say, tell all the DJs, DJ Whiteboy, I just remember there must have been about 6 DJs, and they did a battling with each other. Like when I was younger, because I used to DJ, and so you battle. Like one guy would get on there and do something, and somebody else would get on it, and it was the best. It was a great show, and I want to say thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I want to thank you guys very much for being.
Yeah,
on
this was a
Thank
great.
you.
And
show.
you
I
know,
want to
want
say
to keep
thank
in
you.
touch. Send me the
Definitely.
information. The clip. We never showed the clip. Shit, we forgot.
Is it clip? Wait, is it wait?
Clip, can you
we
do
get a
it?
second? You said a clip and then
Clip.
wind it.
Put it up, please.
Can we? Thanks. All right,
Okay.
good. We got to show quick. Oh, I'm so. You know what? I'm sorry.
Yes.
The effects of inspiration on the human brain can be so powerful that it compels you to take action almost immediately. Our brains are wired to light up when we become inspired. A powerful impulse is written into existence, and the urge to conquer sets in. Motivation is the force that causes us to act on our desires and fears. It comes from internal and external stimuli and is an outward driving force that makes people feel compelled to take action. These are real stories told by real people of hope, determination, and triumphant victory over life's most difficult challenges, all inspired by Sylvester Stallone's legendary Rocky films. 5 individuals came together, each from different walks of life, with one common goal: to show the world what happens when we decide to never give up.
I like that.
Fantastic.
Now we
Terrific.
definitely have to watch this thing. You kidding me?
We'll be there.
Definitely.
We'll definitely be
very
there.
exciting.
So guys,
Thank you.
again, thank you so much. And everybody out there, I have to tell you, I want to thank our sponsors, Oro Puro. Teddy, thank you again for all your jewelry needs. Right there, 1033 Hempstead Turnpike in Franklin Square. And we have Jackson Hewitt, Prince of Taxes. I know tax season is over, but you guys that file quarterly taxes like myself, always see him. He's a great guy. Tell him Greg and Valentina sent you. And
Tranquility
that's where- Oh, no,
Spa.
Tranquility Spa. That's right.
He's my man.
That's
He
right.
does everything for you. You
That's
sit
right.
in the chair from your head to your toes.
That's it.
You don't
and
have
she
to
loves
take
that
your
boy. I gotta
clothes
tell
off.
you. She
And
does that boy. She loves that boy.
you have heat everywhere.
Yeah. See?
Mask on.
She loves it.
It's
You see
the
the way she
greatest.
describes the experience?
You don't have
think
to
you think you're right. You think it's like a porn movie or something.
Franklin Avenue,
Okay.
Franklin Square.
But anyway, listen, guys. Listen, if you see somebody, give somebody a big hug and a kiss. And I got to tell you, a big hug makes a world of difference in somebody's life. Not realizing what you do. So, guys, thank you again. And it's
And before that, what's your website? Where do they find out about you?
Amazon Prime, you could stream Fight Story. www.bulldogh.com is where we sell all merchandise. And again, all of that goes towards children with autism and special needs.
Thank you.
Terrific.
And
And
it
it's
is a wrap.